Welcome to The Youth Will Always Win. This podcast is here to inspire, challenge, and equip the next generation. Whether you're headed to school, cleaning your room, or navigating the busy moments in between, we'll explore what it means to stand strong in your faith and follow God in today's world. Each episode will dive into real stories, practical advice, and uplifting conversations, reminding you that you're never alone on this journey. So plug in, get ready to be motivated, and always remember, no matter the challenges you face, the youth will always win.
Welcome back to The Youth Will Always Win, the podcast where we talk about faith, life, and how to win in the areas that matter the most. I'm your host, Pastor Connor, and today we are talking about winning in worship, and I am pumped to let you know I got a special guest with us. What is going on, Ashton? How's it going?
I'm doing great. How are you, man?
So great. So fantastic. Thank you for joining us. I'm so pumped.
Absolutely.
This is our first episode not live, and so I'm really pumped for it. I know you're in Florida,
I am.
and so you're quite a distance away from Indiana. So glad to be here with us. But before we dive into this topic, let's start by getting to know you a little bit. Tell us who you are and a little bit about your life and what you do.
Yeah, for sure. Well, my name is Ashton, and I am a senior at Southeastern University. I'm studying organizational leadership, and I am a part of SEU worship. I am on their scholarship worship team right now, so I have some responsibilities. I lead a chapel team here, and I get to tour with the team and record albums and all the good stuff.
Fun.
But yeah, I grew up in Lakeland. I've been here my whole life. I lived in Tennessee for a little blip, but I was in like fifth grade and then we moved back down.
Okay.
I grew up in church. I've been around SEU kind of like my whole life. I went to a private Christian school, and so I like had been on campus multiple times. And I actually didn't want to go here for college. I wanted to go to Nashville to study music. But the Lord had different plans. So I've been here the last 3 years, because I'm going into my fourth year, and it's just been amazing.
Dude, that's incredible. Well, I'm curious, what you said, like this scholarship team, is that what you said?
Yeah.
What is that? I'm just curious.
So SEU Worship is an on-campus ministry, and so I'm a student, and so we have what's called the Department of Spiritual Formation here on campus. So basically, if you come on campus and you're not an on-campus student, we're basically the team that puts on chapels, works with anything spiritual that's happening on campus is kind of going through students, and we have like staff that's a part of it too. So basically, the scholarship team for SEU Worship is I am scholarship student and I'm on DSF. I just have more responsibility and I get money to go to school here,
Yeah.
that.
I love it. It's awesome. Well, so like when you were younger, I know you were talking a little bit about being in Tennessee, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So when you were younger, was like worship and music like always the thing, or did God kind of sneak that into your story later in your life?
Yeah. So music has been a pretty big part of my life. Like I said, I grew up in the church, so I grew up doing like little church plays and stuff.
Oh, dude, of course, they're the best.
the classic, church kid.
Oh yeah, I feel it.
But I grew up doing those plays, and they had me sing for them. And I honestly can't remember like the first time I started singing. But somehow I like found out that my mom was like, "Oh, you can sing," and so I just got involved in different things. Like I said, I went to a private Christian school, so there was like little competitions. I don't know if you're familiar with the AG.
We are AG.
Oh, let's go! That's great.
Yeah.
So I did fine arts, and
Dude,
I
awesome.
was doing music through there, but worship really came in when I was in seventh grade. I started leading worship, and it was after some like really tough times in my life. I could go into it, but I don't know if we have time for it. But just like the short condensed version, my father passed away in 2015, and really kind of it was super unexpected, and kind of threw my whole family for a loop. And then in 2016, my mom was diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, and she was in the
Oh
stage
man.
4. And so like I had just lost my dad, and then I was preparing to, now possibly lose my mom because it was like
Wow.
terminal.
And how
Uh,
what was that difference you said, like in timeline?
it was a year. It was a year
Yeah.
apart.
Wow.
So, and that was so when I was saying that we were in Tennessee, we moved back down because like that just everything just started to happen. And so in 2000, that was in 2015, 2016, my mom was diagnosed. And I was just like at a loss for words. Like I was like, all this tragedy had happened in such a short period of time. And I was a Christian. I was going to church, but like I, I don't know. Like I was like, I don't have an outlet. And so my youth pastor, we were separated from middle school and high school. So my middle school pastor, was just like, hey, we know you can sing. We know you've been doing like fine arts and stuff, but like, have you ever led worship? Like, we need a team for our middle school group. Like, would you want to do that? And so I had just gotten a guitar for my birthday, and he was like, yeah, I'll give you a song to like learn it through the week, and then come next Wednesday, and then we'll sing it at service. And so I sang it at service, and I just, man, like the Lord has just used worship music, as of course, like to heal the brokenness that I had been going through, like I think it was a way that I could cope with, and really like feel like I feel like I was suppressing a lot of like my emotions from like the
Yeah.
tragedy that happened, but like worship was just a place or like worship, specifically music worship, was where I could just, man, like release and feel and like let the presence of God just do his work. And so that's like when in 7th grade is when I started leading worship, and then it just continued as something very important to me in my life.
Yeah,
Sorry,
that
that was a lot.
no, that's what we're here to talk about. I love that. I mean,
Yeah.
just to hear about, I mean, that is honestly like inspiring. Think especially for like a student who's listening who might be going
Mhm.
through something difficult like
Right.
that. Like just being able to use that as like an outlet just to be in the presence of God and
Right.
kind of express those emotions, because they're
Yeah.
hard to, go out and feel comfortable sharing them or
Right.
finding those avenues at that age. So well, so like you have this love for music growing up,
Mhm.
and you're on this team, this middle school team, starting to be able to
Yeah.
do that kind of stuff. So when was it this moment, or was there a different moment when you kind of felt like God was taking this talent and turning it
Mhm.
more into a calling?
Yeah. I think there were like when you go to youth camp and then you like get words from the
Yeah.
Lord, and it's like about your calling and different things. So I feel like it was definitely gradual. I think I knew there was purpose to worship, right? Like I knew that it wasn't for me, and I knew that it was for the Lord. But I think it was like gradual, like it was like, okay, you learn as you go along, right?
Mhm.
Like you learn about worship, you learn the depth and different things, and you mature in your faith. And so I think that as I just kind of surrendered to the Lord, it was it was kind of just gradual. Like I knew that, you know, my giftings was not for myself, was not
Yeah.
to glorify myself. It was just to give back to him. And so I think like that the 7th grade moment was like I love worship music. Like I'm gonna like stick with this.
Hmm.
But
Okay.
I think gradually like it would kind of like transform my mind into in learning like more logistics about it. Like okay, why do I worship? Like that kind of stuff. I don't know if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
No, that totally makes sense. That's super awesome.
Yeah.
So then, okay, so I'm trying to think through. So when it comes to that, you talked about, you kind of hinted at SEU wasn't kind of
Mhm.
like you didn't really want to go there. So
Yeah.
what got you first connected there? Like, was it because of their programs? Was it
Yeah.
because of you felt called? Like did
Mhm.
I mean, obviously God had to nudge you a little bit if you didn't want to go
Yeah.
there, but what did that look
1000%.
like? Yeah.
Yeah, and so the like with how my family looked, like not having a dad and my mom not working, and being on disability, um, college was really interesting financially. Like my mom didn't want us, me and my sister, to be in debt, and so I applied to a lot of places, um, and I applied to SEU, but it like wasn't my top. And so I went to Nashville, went to Belmont University, auditioned, got a really good music scholarship there, but I still would have had to pay a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so like we were just praying and asking the Lord like to make a way. And I actually had like posted on like Instagram that I was going to Belmont. I was like, I'm going to Nashville.
Really?
Like this is my
This
choice
is
for
it. This
college.
is the plan.
Yeah. And then I was at National Fine Arts 2022, and
Okay.
I competed in songwriting in a bunch of different categories, but I ended up winning songwriting, and I got to perform on stage. Um,
Really?
yeah, at the award ceremony, which was super cool.
Wait,
And
time out though. Did that
yeah,
like what was that song? Did it like ever come out? Did you ever like
it didn't come out.
it did? Dude,
I'm still
come
sitting
on.
on it.
You're
I
thinking about
know.
it.
It's all like the Lord's timing, man.
Yeah,
There's
of
a lot of
course.
songs that I've been sitting on, but hopefully soon. But it
Yeah.
was called The
No,
Potter's House.
the
Yeah,
Potter stuff.
it's
Yeah,
actually
not to
on.
interrupt you, but yeah.
No, it's
Yeah.
okay. That song's on my YouTube. It's
Okay, cool.
literally it's anyways, but but yeah. So after fine arts, I ended up getting a call from like a random number, and I answered it, and it was like someone from SEU. And so like I was committed to Belmont, or I wasn't committed, but I like was like declaring that, oh yeah, I'm going here.
Yeah, for sure.
But I was like, man, finances is still like a big thing. And we get a call, and I answer it, and they're like, hey, like you have like a scholarship to SEU. And I was like, oh cool, like I wasn't planning on it, but like what is
Yeah.
that? And they're like, yeah, they're like, you have to call this other phone number, and then like they're gonna tell you about it. And so I was
Man,
like,
they
okay,
left you on
cool.
edge a little bit.
Right. I was like,
Yeah,
dang,
you're
what's
like, what
the
is
heck? So I I go into my mom's room, and I don't know if it was, I can't remember exactly the timeline, but I hop on the phone call with like I forgot his name too, but this dude, and he was like, hey, like you got the trustee scholarship for SEU, and basically like he was like, you have a full ride, like room and board is covered. And I was like, oh my goodness, like and my mom just started crying, and I was crying too, and I was like, man, the Lord is so good, because he just knows like your needs and stuff. And so, and I was like, well, like this is like pretty clear like where I'm going to school, because like I mean, to not have to pay for college, like I'm just so blessed and very grateful for the
Yeah.
opportunity here,
Dude, that is amazing. Like,
Yeah. So
come
that
on.
was the nudge, I guess, but
Yeah, no, and that's exact. It's like he opened a door clearly for you.
right.
And sometimes it's like we need God to open those doors like that. So, well,
True.
like with SEU worship, and we'll get to I don't want to say logistics, but talking a little more in depth about worship here in a few.
Yeah, for sure.
But I am curious. So, what has that been like? Being able to like travel and a part of some of
Yeah.
these songs and albums? Because
Yeah.
I don't know if you were there every time, but you were a part of Winter Jam, right?
I was. Yeah, the last 2 years I got to go on some dates. So
Nice. Yeah.
I've
So
traveled.
what's that been like?
Man, it has truly been some of the coolest like opportunities. Like it's been the coolest experience just to go like even apart from Winter Jam, like we travel to different churches and do conferences and stuff, and
Mhm.
just to one, travel the country, but also just to like experience the presence of God with so many different like bodies of Christ.
Yeah.
Like and so I'm very humbled for the opportunities for the opportunities, yeah, just like
Yeah.
to go travel. But it's been really cool. I think it's all like confirmation, just like that the Lord, has placed me here, and He's like just continuing the plan. I'm just walking in obedience, and He's just, taking it and putting me places, and I'm just being obedient. So
Yeah. I love
yeah.
it. So, like, as a worship leader and as someone, who's put everything into this and really, leading after,
Yeah.
what is one thing about worship that you think most students, middle school, high school,
Mhm.
college, what is something you think most students misunderstand about worship?
Yeah. I actually wrote a couple things down.
No, yeah.
I wasn't I
No,
wasn't sure. I feel like there's
it's
I
it's
feel
a
like
loaded
there's
question. It's a
for
short question,
sure.
but
I
it's a
think
loaded question. Yeah.
there's so many things that us as humans we're flawed, like
Yeah.
we get wrong. But I think specifically in like worship music, like I'm on a stage leading a group of people. I think one thing that many people get wrong is that you are not creating a moment, right? Like
Mm.
I think like or it's not your job to create the moment, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no,
I
that
think
makes
that
sense.
when you're on platform and you're leading the room into, the presence of the Lord, I think sometimes in a, a, a pressure we put on ourselves to like, okay, this is what it has to look like. This is where the room needs to be. If the audience is not there, then I'm doing something wrong.
Mm,
And I think that that's something I've learned and had to battle like with my flesh, of striving. I think that um that we strive a lot as worship leaders because if something is not happening, if the room is not responding, then it's like, okay, I'm not doing something wrong. Either I'm spiritually not, ready for what's happening, or
yeah.
like I'm not trying hard enough, so I have to try harder. And then
Mhm.
that creates striving, and then
Wow.
you get exhausted, and then you get discouraged because you physically cannot create the moment. You physically cannot bring the Holy Spirit in the room, right?
Yeah.
Like he's already there. Like, and I think just an encouragement on the other side of that is that it just creates like us, like we need to just be so dependent on the Lord because
Mhm.
he's going to do what he needs to do, right? We just need to step out of the way and be used as a vessel, right? Because he is
Yeah,
using
yeah.
us, but we're not necessarily creating the moment on our own strength.
No,
So
that is so good. That's so
yeah,
powerful. Yeah, I was thinking just like about this topic too. Like, obviously, worship is so many other things than just the
right.
songs we sing. That's evident all throughout Scripture. But
Mhm.
something that encourages me, like in those moments, because I don't lead on a stage through worship or anything like that.
Yeah,
As I'm worshiping, like sometimes we got to remind ourselves that worship reminds us like who God is. Like
yeah,
some of the song lyrics we sing, like I don't know, we'll go with the Waymaker because
yeah,
Waymaker is so popular. But it's like God doesn't, we're not reminding God he's a waymaker. Like
yeah.
he knows that. He understands that. What it's
Yes,
doing is it's reminding us. And
correct.
so like those times when we're wrestling with doubt or fear, wondering if God's really there, like singing those words out
Right,
loud comes a way that
right,
we kind of like preach to ourselves or in a way,
right.
right? Like it recenters our heart on what's real,
Truly.
even when the feelings are pulling us in a different
Yeah,
direction, right?
yeah,
Like plenty of days, all of us, even you as a worship leader, there's going to be days where we don't feel like lifting our hands or
right,
like there are hard days, like, and we'll talk
correct.
about it in a sec, but like talking about what happened with your dad and the situation with your mom, like there are days that we don't want to do that, but
Yeah,
those are often the moments. I mean,
yeah,
worship matters the most. Like,
right.
no question about it. Like, it is very easy to worship when life is good. But
Hmm.
when we're choosing to worship in pain or
Yeah,
confusion or stress or anxious thoughts, whatever,
yeah,
that's when we're declaring that God is bigger than our emotions.
yeah,
And so, like, with the situation that you've had to face, because one of my questions, but you've kind of answered it in a great way, just opening up is have you had to worship God when you didn't feel like it,
yeah,
maybe in pain, discouragement, or doubt? So
yeah,
I know you're talking about your family here, but in
mhm,
those moments, like, were there the times when you didn't feel like worshiping,
yeah.
and what did that look like for you? Like, how did you navigate that?
Absolutely. I think that man, that's such a great question. Um, yeah, like there have been so many times I've come into, or like preparing for a worship set, and I'm just like, man, I really don't want. This is not what I feel like doing. This is
Yeah.
not like what like I want to go be upset. I want to go be mad, you know, or like even just like I don't know, even just being tired too. Like sometimes
Yeah.
you're just like, man, I'm so exhausted. Like I cannot, you know, move another muscle, and
Oh,
like
yeah,
and
yeah.
how can I give the energy, for this? Um so yeah, there's been so many times, especially like when I was going through like the grieving process, even post like the time it happened, like these past 10 years,
Hmm.
like just different like things have come up, and I'm like mentally like, how do I deal with this? And I
Yeah.
truly think it's just like giving it all to the Lord. There's a verse that says, "Cast your cares on Him."
Hmm.
Cast your worries and cares on the Lord.
Yeah.
And I think that's just like where I like worshipped and led from. Like I think there was just like such a dependency that I've needed in the Lord in times where I'm just like, God, I'm just surrendering this to you. Like I literally need you so much in this moment. And then he just like did the rest, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, no, that's a great answer. I mean, that is a hard thing to navigate for anyone.
right,
Like it's easier said than done, and all of us in our head, we know, hey, even when I don't feel like it, I need to worship or I need
right.
to be present. But that is not an easy thing to do
Yeah,
when you're really feeling defeated.
yeah.
So I guess I would ask, how would you challenge students, who love to worship, and I guess even if they don't,
Mhm.
but students who
Yeah.
love to worship at church and all of that stuff, and really start to let worship shape how they live their life, not
Mhm.
just like what they sing for like 20, 30 minutes during a service. Like,
Yeah,
how does that correlate with their life?
for sure. Well, I think like, and this is what I was gonna say, in the like one thing I said I had 2 points, but I guess it's for this question as well. But I think worship isn't a platform; it's a lifestyle, right? I
Mm,
think that um, like your entire life can be worship, right? It is worship, like the way you live, the way you operate, like the things you put your time towards. It's all worship. It all can be worship,
mhm.
right? And so I think that, especially if you want to be a worship leader, especially if you want to be someone who leads people into the presence of God, like the time you spend on stage cannot be the only time you're worshiping the
Come
Lord.
on, preach it,
Um,
preach it.
like
No,
it's
you're so right. Yeah.
and I wrote down another thing, but it sounds so harsh, and I hate to say it this way, but I said if you are not living what you are singing, you are lying.
Mm,
And I know that sounds like so
good.
that's so harsh, but like, and there's so much grace like offered that the Lord gives, like, because we do make mistakes, we do suck, as humans, but the Lord is so gracious, and he loves us so much we can't even understand it. So I think that our only response back to that, to his love, is to give him our everything, like, and especially like I said, like especially if you're on a platform, like whether it be preaching or whether it be serving in ministry, I think that your life needs to be so hungry for the Lord at all times. There needs to be just a hunger that is stirred inside of you, for the things of God, because he wants to use you, and it's not by your efforts that you're being used. It's by just the grace of God that he has placed authority inside of you. And I know I feel like I'm saying like a bunch of things, but I
No,
just
it's
like,
all good. I want to hear it. Yeah.
yeah, just like staying hungry. I think that is like the best challenge and encouragement that I could give, is like living like a life dedicated to the Lord, like in every aspect.
Yeah,
So
it's like no, you're exactly right. If I raise my hands in song, but treat people poorly the rest of the week, like I've missed
right.
the point. And so,
Hmm.
like worship, it has to fuel worship in our life, like how we speak, how we love, how we serve, we forgive, all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So I love that. You
Yeah.
kind of gave an encouragement there, but let me ask you one more question.
Yeah.
What advice? I want to word this a little bit different than what I was thinking. What
Yeah.
advice would you give someone who is feeling led to step out, whether that's to join a worship team or
Mhm.
to preach or any of that kind of stuff that
Yeah.
maybe is on a platform? What advice would you give someone who feels maybe hesitant or not confident
Mhm.
to step into that?
Yeah. I think my encouragement would just be that God's got you. Like, I know that's like so cliche and generic, but I think it's like so true that the Lord has instilled a gift and a passion inside of you. And yes, there is like fear. Yes, there may be like hesitancy. Um, but I think that he's got you, and I think that obedience takes action. And so if you've been given a calling, if you've been, you know, like, yeah, like, if there's a calling on your life for ministry, for those things, I think it's our job to take the step towards that. And so yes, we can be timid, yes, we can be scared and hesitant, but I think that it's like, if you would just trust the Lord has you and is carrying you through all these moments, like, it's not by your own strength, he's carrying you through it. So um just be obedient and be bold, and be don't be afraid to make mistakes, to
Come
like
on.
we'll all make mistakes, but God's orchestrating every single part of your life.
Yeah.
um for sure.
No,
So I think
that is so good.
yeah,
Hey, before we close out, well, first off, I love hearing you be able to share. I mean, this is just great stuff you're
yeah.
kind of pouring out for us here. But before we end, there is something we love to do. And so I got 10 rapid fire questions for you.
I'm so nervous.
And he doesn't know what they are. And you just got to answer them on the spot. It's hard because when we're in the live, like when we do it live in our youth group, like
Yeah,
should not take as long as it does. But everyone
right,
like, just starts like screaming and like, because someone will say like pineapple belongs on pizza or something. Everyone freaks out,
right.
whatever. But real quick though, like, what is your take? Pineapple on pizza?
Okay.
That's our
I
first one.
honestly,
It leads
am
right
I
into it.
going? Am I calling up Papa John's to order it? No. If it is in front of me, I will be eating it. Like
See,
I'm
that's
a
a
big
good meat
back.
in the middle.
Like I will, I will eat like anything.
Like, I
Right?
don't care. That's a good me in the middle answer.
Yeah.
Like, it's like if it's in front of me, I'll do it, but I ain't going out of my way. So,
Right.
all
I'm
right.
not going out of my way.
All right. So that was the first one. Second, favorite restaurant.
Favorite restaurant? Okay. Controversial. Jimmy John's. I love a
Dude,
good sub.
bro, you don't understand what you just said. I'm gonna blow your mind real quick.
Let me
This,
hear it. Let me hear
this
it.
is the best answer you could have gave. This,
Really?
dude, you don't know. This is getting clipped and put on our social media.
Yes. Let's
First,
go.
our first episode with my absolute best friend, Alex
Yeah.
Diamda. So we went to ministry school together, all of that. He was there for the launch. He was our first person. We were talking about winning in your school. And
Wow.
his answer for that question was Jimmy John's. And
No way.
everyone just cooked him, including I was like, Jimmy John's, you're choosing Jimmy John's. So,
Dang.
so I guess I'm slacking here because I've had it before, but it's been a few years. So I'm
Yeah.
something. If I mean, you're a fourth or fifth guest at this point. You saying Jimmy John's is crazy. So
That's so crazy. I know there's probably so many better restaurants, but it's just home to me. I love it so
dude,
much.
that's crazy. I don't know. That's so funny to me. All right. Anyway, favorite Bible story.
Favorite Bible story? Man, the story of David, just his whole life
It's it's the
is
best.
yes.
Best way to enjoy the weekend.
Best way to enjoy the weekend. Man, I would say with friends, but I think if I like me personally, I like go and hang out with friends a lot, and so if I'm gonna be anywhere, I just want to be with friends. But I think like if it were just me by myself, I'd love to go to the beach and just like
Really?
watch the sunset or just be at the beach.
If you're with your friends, what are you guys doing though? Like, what's the move?
Man, we just being in the company, like being in the company of friends, like having game nights, just deep talks, and it's my
Dude,
favorite.
board games, my life. I love it.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Wait, I'm gonna get sidetracked. What is the board? I will replace this as one of our questions. What is your favorite board game?
My favorite board game. Oh my goodness. Okay, it's technically a card game, but I'm gonna
It's close. Yeah, same thing. Yeah, yeah.
okay, we on SEU Worship have been playing this like we've been obsessed with it. It's new. It's called Flip 7.
Dude,
It
I've played this.
it is such a good game. Oh
Mother-in-law
my God.
introduced it to me. Such a good game.
Yes, I'm
Dude,
just
that's
you play
deep
for
right there.
hours.
Oh
It's so
yeah,
fun.
it's nonstop.
Yes.
Favorite superhero?
Favorite superhero. Oh man. I man. I'm blanking, bro.
Oh no, do you not know any? Are you not a superhero guy?
No, I'm not like a crazy superhero guy. Like I didn't grow up being super like invested, but I honestly gotta say Thor. I think it's just like
Thor,
the
all right.
long hair and like the hammer, like just like oh strength.
You love it.
I love it.
If you could only eat one meal forever, what would it be?
Imagine if I said Jimmy John's, like a Jimmy John's sub.
Crazy.
One meal forever. Oh, it's got to be hibachi.
Oh,
Like
great answer.
a good hibachi with steak, vegetables, fried rice, some yum yum sauce on the side. Oh, I'll be set. Like I'll be satisfied.
Pour the whole bottle of yum yum. Who cares?
Right.
Favorite worship song?
Favorite worship song. Ooh, I've been thinking about this one. There's I think it's called Blood of Christ with John Wilds and Jesus Image.
Haven't heard it. No.
It's newer. It like just came out like a couple months ago, but that song has just been the throne room song for me. I've just been weeping and It's been amazing. It's
No,
great.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
What's your favorite song to lead?
Favorite song to lead. Um, I would say, man, we've been doing Center a lot by Bethel.
Okay.
That's my favorite and we do it in the guy key, and so I like leading that song a lot. But I think my favorite SEU worship song to lead um, would honestly be "What a God." I think we've been doing
Great
some cool
answer.
stuff with that
Yeah.
lately, and we've sung it a lot. But it's just always such like
Powerful. It's
it's
humble.
so
It's a humble
powerful. The
song.
lyrics,
Yeah.
everything.
Well, hey, that's a wrap for today's episode of The Youth Will Always Win. Huge shout out to Ashton for hanging out with us and sharing his heart. Thank you, Ashton. We appreciate it.
Thank you guys so
And
much.
all of you guys for listening. You're the reason we do this. Don't just let this stay in your headphones. Go live it out this week. And we will catch you on the next episode of The Youth Will Always Win.